Consider this. Let's just take the status quo. Let's just take your life in its tangible form as it has evolved. What if you developed superpowers to appreciate it? What if your ability to perceive it is the leading edge? No more dichotomy, is there? How dare I be such a nitpicker as to want this thing that should be in the scope of everything insignificant when I have so much here?
Exactly.
Because it's the leading edge. Because you can't stand still.
And that's a funny
and
thing.
Holding to the perfection of what is will bring you eventually to a place of resentment, because the leading edge, like the path of least resistance, is alignment. You get to have it all. You get to have everything that you want. And never root for standing still. Other, different, more exposure to more life, more opportunity to refine and define. Don't focus wheel yourself into liking to eat something that you hate. Allow yourself to experience the diversity and come to your personal preferences, and give yourself permission to have the perfection of what you have preferred, because you've misunderstood what the receptive mode is. Because most humans think that you are to be in the creative mode. And so how about taking the leading edge of that thought and saying, I am the receiver of the impulse of the creation of my reality. This is the real question that we are feeling from you. This is what it feels to us that you are asking. Is my appreciation for the richness of what is preventing me from moving to what I really want? And if we were only talking about conditions, we can see why that squirrely thought would come to you. But since what we're talking about, the path being, is the path to alignment, then we want to ask you, is appreciation ever the wrong path?
Absolutely. I get that.
So nothing is preventing you from moving forward to what you want. It may be that you are milking where you are for more vortexual content before you allow yourself to make the move, or it may be you are micromanaging your life more than you really mean to. So be less conditional and more emotional. In other words, instead of talking about humidity or drier climate, talk about ornery or pleasant. Instead of talking about sticky skin or good feeling skin, talk about ease or tension.
Comfort.
Speak of comfort. Look for comfort everywhere you are. But it is emotional comfort that we wish for you to seek. Emotional comfort. Because in emotional comfort, your physical apparatus acquiesces to your environment in ways that are really, really satisfying. In other words, just give your physical body an opportunity to relish the atmosphere, and without conditional judgment on your part, seeking comfort rather than the specific details of how the comfort comes. Do you think you can have it all? Do you think you have to give up something for something, or do you think that the universe has the ability to give it all to you? So what keeps you from being willing to acknowledge that it could be better? That's the question that we hear from you. What's keeping me from selfishly, with gay abandon, just moving toward all things that I want? What is it?
It's a sense of responsibility, or I can't figure it. Responsibility.
Maybe responsibility, and maybe it's wanting to be of service to others who are perceiving you. Maybe it's caring too much about how others would fit into your new picture. And it's like really wanting to get it right. And so here's what we would do if we were standing in your physical shoes. We would acknowledge the perfection of where we're standing, in other words, with appreciation. And we would get out of the attitude of trying to improve it in the sense that it's a conditional improvement, because everything that you're talking about here mostly is about conditions. Humidity certainly is a condition, and location certainly is a condition, and so many of the things that you were describing about the perfection of your life are conditional. Not all of them, but many of them. So as you, just for a little while, begin focusing upon the unconditional aspects of your life. So let us just ask you some questions. From where you stand right now, which is the only place that any question can ever be asked, Which is the path of least resistance, which means which is more downstream, which means which feels the best, which is the most appealing, which is the most emotionally attractive to you, which feels better, sameness or more,
More.
understood and safe or adventure.
Adventure. Whoops.
There's the little piece of it right there.
Yeah.
That's the little telling piece of it right there.
Who am I to have adventure?
Expansion or sameness. Now we're getting ridiculously easy in these.
Expansion, yeah.
New awarenesses or old securities.
New awarenesses.
Motion or stagnation.
Motion.
Faster motion or slower motion.
Faster aligned motion.
Faster the better in alignment.
Yes.
And so most people are accustomed to holding back the speed because they're not sure of the alignment. And so as you get sure of alignment, then you can let all the stops out and off you go.
Off you go, right.
And when we say working too hard and trying too hard, what we really mean is thinking too much about the conditions, when if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would be thinking more about the emotion. We'd be thinking about the adventure of it, not the conditions of it. We'd be thinking about the elation of it. We'd be thinking about the excitement of it. We'd be thinking about the calling of it, the newness of it, the freshness of it, the thrill of it, the fun of it.
Okay, yeah.
You see what we're getting
Yes,
at?
yeah,
because when you get into that emotional, unencumbered state, there's no question, is there?